folks, welcome aboard the channel. I'm Don. This is Rockin' the Country, where I react to non-pop country music. And I'm looking forward to this because Teea Goans, I did my first reaction to Teea for 7 years ago or something, pretty early in the channel. I started the channel, I think about 8 years ago. And somebody had requested Teea. And I was like, man, there's something about her, just unique, real, unknowable. If I had to place her, I don't know. It's based on my book that I wrote last year on the 9 personality types that comprise the human race. It's a philosophical, psychological work, obviously, and sociological. They're all interconnected. But I don't know if I would place her as a freelancer. She certainly has that. She'd have to take the personality test for her to find out, and you could take it as well. But all that said, she's intriguing, and that's why I sort of went on that little tangent there. But Teea's song, Just Because She Always Has. Well, it's a gift request, firstly, by David Baumer. So, David, thank you for this gift and this request. But Teea has interacted with folks on the channel, myself included, on some of the prior videos. And I always am humbled by that. I'm thankful for that. Anytime they do, because they're busy people. And she's been on Country Family Reunion. She's been on, Bill Anderson featured her and all that stuff. And she's played a Larry's Country Diner with the sheriff there. And so people in country know who she is. And just very gracious, beautiful person, because even during COVID, she was doing reaction, like posting songs from her garage. And you love your craft and your fan base when you do that. So anyway, let's see what she's got for us here. A title like that could be Just Because She Always Has, Just Because She's Always Taken Your Crap, She Keeps Putting Up With It, or Just Because She's Always Loved You. It could be about a mother. It could be about a love interest. It could be about a spouse. Could be about your daughter. It's one of these songs where you have to hear it to know what it's about. So here we go. Oh, here we are.
This is one that we did on the cruise this past year, and this song, well, your wife actually requested it today, so that's all I'm going to say. Let's hit it. Y'all
if Luann wants it, Luann gets it.
Okay.
She put him on the spot right there. There's the sheriff.
There's no supper on the table. She's probably running late. So go on and pour yourself a drink. You're gonna have to wait. Just take off that dirty shirt, throw it on the floor. She'll pick it up when she gets home. She always has before.
Right.
But just because she always has, it doesn't mean she always will.
That's a fact.
Can you imagine life without her? What's the matter? Did you feel a chill?
Nice intro.
She's been your rock. She's always said she'd stand by you till time stands still. But just because she always has doesn't mean she always will.
That is true in every context in life with human beings. Guy, girl, young, old, it does not matter. People change, and you got to be paying attention to see how they're adjusting to life as it progresses. Stagnancy can be the kiss of death.
Oh, you're proud of the fact you've never raised you can look her in the eye and say, you've never had a one-night stand.
Well, you're not supposed to do any of those things anyway.
She's always overlooked the things you never meant to say. And even when she knew you were wrong, she lets you have your way. But just because she always has, it doesn't mean she always will. Can you imagine life without her? What's the matter? Did you feel a chill?
Yeah, you should feel that chill. It's a good wake up
She's
for everybody.
been your rock. She's always said she'd stand by you till time stands still.
That's a good definition
Just
of a rock.
because she always has doesn't mean she always will. She might be on a plane miles away by now, but that don't make sense. She's always called, you've always worked it out. Did you ever stop and think about just what you might do if you came home one night to find she'd stop loving you? Just because she always has, it doesn't mean she always will. Can you imagine life without her? What's the matter? Did you feel a chill?
She makes this way personal.
She's been your rock. She's always said she'd stand by you till time stands still. But just because she always has doesn't mean she always will.
Oh, yeah.
I hope she wrote that. I do. There's something organic about that. Not that I hope that she experienced that or that she's sending a message to her husband or whomever, but it's still because that was very real. And if Teea didn't write that, I seriously doubt that she did not write that. I think that she wrote that. But she made it her own, however. But even just those little interjections like, what's the matter? Did you feel a chill? And that one line, I didn't stop it at that point because I think I'd already stopped it. But that one line, it doesn't make sense. Something or which she's not home now or something to that effect, which doesn't make sense. And I'm like, oh, that degree of insight. And to interject that in a song, it's not just artistic license, it's creative brilliance to me. It's linguistic brilliance, it's narrative development. It's brilliant because it's real. That is exactly what happens. That first moment, like whatever traumatic event happens in life, it doesn't make sense. Like when somebody dies that in your life and it's unexpected. And you're like, no, it doesn't make sense. They've always been there and they're going to be there. And that's why divorce feels like a death. And divorce is always ranked as the second most ranked, college sports talk there, but it's always rated or ranked or placed as the second most traumatic event, painful event in a person's life, right behind the death of a child. because it's the death of dreams, it's the death of hope, it's the death of a lot of things. The death of stability. It's done. It's gone. And the initial stage, though, is disbelief. Like there's a cognitive dissonance, it's called. There's a disconnect between what you believe and what the reality is. And so either your perception of reality is off and it didn't happen the way you thought, or you have to adjust your belief. One of two things has to happen if you're going to be in lockstep with what we call reality. And when somebody leaves at first, it's like, no, 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 no. They'll be back tomorrow. My psyche has always told me that they'll be here. They'll be back in an hour. They're just going through a rough time. But that is not that. But really, really good question interjected in there. Like, did you feel a chill? It's like, well, you should. And even when you're in a relationship that is on good footing, good standing, you're both in love and you're both happy, you still should be thinking a bit in your mind. Because in a sense, like I'm a big college sports fan, but NIL, name, image, and likeness, which is where players can get paid directly now, and there's no sit out rule. It has destabilized the whole sport. They're going to have to get a handle on this. But one of the things that has happened is that coaches have to keep recruiting their own players during the season, their own players, because if they get an offer somewhere else, they might be gone. And a lot of players are gone. Most of them enter the portal. And I'm using that as an analogy to say within the context of a marriage or maybe you're living with somebody, but you're in love with somebody. But I'm going to put it in the context of a marriage because you make that vow. And sometimes when in your psyche, male or female, you could think, well, that person now is mine for the rest of my life. And that sort of takes the pressure off and I can be a certain way. Well, not necessarily. You need to keep paying attention. They are a human being. Every human being is dynamic, regardless of how docile they appear, how agreeable they appear. Everybody on the inside, in so many ways, has the same human component that we want to be validated. That's the big thing about cheating. For example, if somebody cheats, she brought that up in the song. Oh, you never struck me. You never cheated. You say these things, and though it's true, well, one, you're not supposed to do those things, but cheating is extraordinarily invalidating. You're telling the person that you're married to that you cheated on that they are not enough. And that is about as invalidating as it gets. Hitting them is a similar thing. And a different dynamic at work and certain differences at play, but it's still extraordinarily invalidating as a human being. You're saying you don't matter. You're not enough for me. And geez, you could see why I love Teea's music and her songs and why I said there's something extraordinarily intriguing about her. And I think she's a Missouri girl. And I don't know if she still lives there, but grew up there, as I recall. I think I have that right. But David, great, great suggestion. You can see the smile on my face because I don't like cliche. I don't. I cannot stand cliche. I don't want to be one. I don't say them. It's I like original. I like creativity. I like people who are open-minded to different strains of thought. Like I'm a philosopher by nature. But knowing that about me, which many of you already know that, but seeing T is different, very different. Dwight Yoakam is very different in their own rights. And there are artists that I absolutely love because they do songs that are just different and they put their stamp on it, Alan Jackson and so on. But some folks are just so unique, and Teea is in that. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should start a playlist of unique. And Teea could be the poster child for that. So I'm going to rate this song. And you're right. This is going in my premarital counseling playlist because this is good for people to think about. You've got to keep trying to refresh and pay attention to what's going on in your relationship so that it doesn't become stagnant, so it doesn't appear you're taking the other one for granted. It's just that simple. You have to say nice things, not cheerleading style, but you've got to be paying attention to keep your heart revived so that you're connected with reviving your lover, your wife, your husband's heart. All right, this presentation was great. I love seeing the sheriff in this too. The sheriff stayed in his zone, just was his own. He never upstaged, ever upstaged the artist. He knew he was, he just was so good at what he did, which was allow you to focus on the artist, the featured artist. The number that struck me on this one was a 9.4. I don't think she smiled once in the song, but the song didn't warrant a smile. And she's just a consummate performer. So thank you, David, again for that. All right, guys. If you're young and in love, pay attention to songs like these. Just keep doing it, because believe me, things can go south if you don't pay attention to things about yourself and how to treat the person that you married. All right, guys, have a great day. I'll see you on another video, and keep rocking the country.
What's the matter? Did you feel a chill?